Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. This is Jennifer. Guys, have you ever had one of those weeks where you thought you got nothing done and then you started thinking about what you did and you actually ended up doing so much? I had one of those weeks last week. I really thought I wasn't going to have show and tell today, and then I have so much. So let's just get going. First, you may have noticed that my wall has changed. I bumped my Talk to Me Tuesday block of the month blocks up and have added some blue blocks that are going to be for a charity quilt top. These are machine embroidered sashiko blocks that I made on my new embroidery machine. I've been wanting to try these out, and I went ahead and I just pulled a bunch of blue fabric out of my stash, 12 fat quarters, and made 12 and a half inch blocks. I had already cut these into triangles before BFF Retreat 2022, and I had almost exactly enough. I think I had to cut 2 more, and I still had just a little bit of this fabric. So I went ahead. They're clearly from a line. I have no idea what. I don't know where they came from. Not a clue. They were probably scraps that I got from somewhere, but they went really well with this, and it's definitely the vibe I'm going for. So there are 12 of these. They're all different. There were a few more designs in the set that I just didn't use, but I felt like 12 was enough. And this is kind of the layout I've come up with. What I'm looking at is doing this and then there will be another 12 blocks that'll fill this in and make it a big square. I have cut 12 white blocks, solid white blocks, but I'm not sure if I really like them or not. So I'm just gonna leave this on the wall for a few days and kind of look at it and speculate and think. It may just be white, and then I might quilt it all over in blue. That might actually take care of the problem. I just haven't decided yet. So you guys let me know if you have any opinions on that. The other thing that I did last week is I have been working on some chairs for our downstairs. There's a long backstory that I'll share with you guys later, but I'm working on some chairs, and in that process, I need some upholstery fabric for the seats. So I made a trip to Austin Creative Reuse, and I found this upholstery fabric. There is a yard and almost a half. It said 1.25 yards, but when I measured it, it's almost 1.5 yards. I paid $4.50 for this, which is one of the reasons I love Austin Creative Reuse, because this was either somebody's abandoned project or just their leftover fabric, and I benefited from them donating it. And I also, of course, took a donation because I always take stuff when I go down there. So this will be for those 3 chairs that I am refinishing. Again, there'll be a lot more on that later. You can follow my social media if you want to know more. I'm posting a little bit about it here and there. I also picked up something I have no idea what I'm going to do with, which is this gorgeous vintage tablecloth. I'm not usually drawn to these, but I just absolutely loved this one, and it was $4, so I decided I needed to have it. So I figured I would just put this away somewhere where I can see it and then wait for it to speak to me. I had an experience on Friday that left me very frustrated that I'm just not going to go into here. I did write about it on my Instagram if you're curious. And the way I dealt with it is I came home and I sewed. I had picked up a reusable tote bag from Austin Creative Reuse for 25 cents, literally just to put my stuff in because I'd forgotten my bag in the car, and I had donated a bag. So I figured I'll just get a new bag and then I'll fill it with more stuff. It needed some repairs, and I had put it on my table to repair. And when I got home, in order just to deal with my personal frustration, I ended up upcycling it instead. So this is a Joann's tote bag. It comes from Joann Crafts, and I took it completely apart, took the sides off. The bottom is actually the sides layered together to reinforce the bottom, and then the fabric is in the lining. I literally took it apart and then recreated the 2 side pieces, lined the body with fabric. I didn't make a separate lining. I lined the body with fabric. I serged the edges and then just stitched it across the top, as you guys can see. And then just put it back together. So it was not, this was not a huge undertaking. It took me less than an hour, and I'd had this weird long strip of fabric. This was almost exactly the right width. I think I cut about 1.5 inches off, maybe 2 inches, and added a little Velcro at the top. Put a little elastic in the side just because I wanted it to look a little bit sassy. This is my little humility block because I pinged it with my iron and melted some of the plastic. So I just sewed a little patch on top. So this was a great project to burn off some frustration, and now I have a nifty one-of-a-kind tote bag. That's about it for stuff that I've been making. I've been doing a lot of work on my computer. We have a new quilt along coming up on Phantom and Stitches. It's going to be Peanuts, Charlie Brown winter quilt along. So check that out on Phantom and Stitches. The other thing that is going to be on my agenda in between working on my bookcase quilt and my other things that I have going on is my eldest child gave me their high school graduation quilt. So this was made in 2013. This was the Doctor Who quilt along on Phantom and Stitches. And this quilt has been extremely well loved and it needs some repairs. So I haven't even started yet, but I've been looking. So you can tell probably by looking that this Dalek has seen better days. The binding is starting to go. This has had daily use for 11 years. So this is an extremely well-loved quilt. The embroidered blocks are all in really good shape. It's really just a few of the Daleks, not even all of them, just a few of them. And the binding is just, I mean, it's real bad. So I will be repairing some Daleks and redoing the binding on this, and anywhere that it needs a little patch, I'll put a little patch on. This is probably going to be at least somewhat handwork, so I'll do it when I get to it. My kid knows that I am going to work on it as I can. And because it's been a while since I made them a quilt and that one needed to be repaired, I pulled out my quilts that weren't really being used and I gave them two of my quilts to just to have for themselves. So my Labyrinth quilt and my Princess Bride quilt, both from Quilt Alongs on Phantom and Stitches, all of those patterns are still free for personal use on the website. I gave both of those quilts to my eldest child yesterday. So that actually felt really good. And it cleared some space so that I feel like I can finish a few more things. So I don't have quite so many in my own collection. That about wraps it up for me, guys. I'm going to leave you guys with some bird video because I got the bird feeder that Jules gave me for my birthday hooked up, and it is kind of fantastic. We've had some really interesting visitors. So I'll leave you guys with that, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a crafty week. Be sure and quilt along with us on Talk to Me Tuesday and or Phantom and Stitches, and share your videos, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.